Welcome back to the Shop Mini RC, everybody. I'm Ken, and today we're looking at something a little different. It's an FMS product. It's not an airplane. It's not a mini crawler or a big crawler. It's a tiny little FPV race car setup. We're going to check these guys out. Let's go. So we got two different little mini guys, and they come in multiple colors as well. We've got the FLUSH-30, which looks like a BMW 3 Series, and then we've got the ALU-35, which looks like a GTR. Pretty cool. It says Bug Racing on here. Here's the different colors that come for the FLUSH-30, and the colors available for the ALU-35. We got blue and gray. Blue and gray. There it is with the little FPV camera on there, and the sizes, and the front and back. The box has got a little beat up. Anyway, pretty neat little cars, at least they look like they're going to be. So let's go ahead and get one open. We'll start with this guy. It's like the first thing we've got here is the transmitter. We have a mix of actual physical knobs and then some push buttons, as well as the on and off switch. Oh, it looks like it might come with batteries already. We'll look at that in a second. Let's get it all unboxed first. So we got our headset here. So that's cool. Man, it's a good looking headset. I mean, for a basic ready to run like thing, it's not an aftermarket headset. Let's see, let's make a little pack and manual. Where's the car? Hold on. This is how tiny it is. Oh my gosh. Look at this little guy. Wow. That's fun. And it looks like we've got the camera here. There's our little FPV camera. Remote, FPV camera, FPV goggles. Looks like we got a charger for the car. Let's open up this little guy. What is this? Oh, the antennas. Antennae. It's like an AV cable. Charger probably for this. It looks like there are two different kinds of chargers. This comes with this type of USB, and then yeah, the car comes with this type. So those are the two types of USBs. Kind of sucks they don't use the same USB charger, or like the same style. Not a huge deal. All right, let's see what this is about. Looks like, yeah, we just got a, what is that? Oh, okay. All right, I think that's so you can use just, I think they make lipos or something, some other battery type that's this size. We'll look. That way you can just drop that guy in there. Or you can use AAAs. Looks like it's got 3 AAAs that come with already, so that's cool. It's ready to go right out the box. Sure enough. Then I assume the car's got some charge on it. Let's turn this on. Turn that on. Oh, we got some lights. Oh, look at that. Let's go. And then we can FPV it. Oh, that's cool. I do the light bar in the front there. Let's see, what does it say down here? FMS Bug Racing FPV car. So it's fully proportional steering. At least on this guy. I think the other one's a little different. We'll look at that here in a minute. And then I think this just pops off. Oh, yep, there it is. And then you can throw your camera on. It's magnetic. Boom. Lights up. Letting you know it's working. Let's look at these goggles real quick. So here's our goggles. There's our little antenna cap covers. So on the goggles, it looks like you've got a menu and power button, a search button, a record button, channel, and band. Go ahead and just power this guy on. What? It's already working. Didn't have to do anything. That actually looks pretty good. Sorry, I was looking at it. That looks really good. Look, guys, look as I look into it. Cool. How fun is that? Looks like we can one-handed drive it. It's a little short on the handle here, so it looks a little hard. The angle on this wheel is a little weird, but oh, now we high-centered. They need to make little crawlers like this too. I know there's some out there, but man, I definitely think this could be a blast with some mini crawlers as well, or I don't know. This is going to be fun though. We do have some other little kind of micro scaled cars, so we have a little track for them. So I guess at some point we're going to have to set up the track. I don't know if we'll do that in this video, but eventually we'll set up a track, a little mini track for these guys, and run them around. Pretty cool. I think right now we're just going to do our initial impressions, and yeah, this is kind of fun, guys. All right, so let's look here in the manual just a little bit, give you some, see if we can find anything of interest. There's everything it comes with. You can pause and look. Boom. I'm sure there's PDFs you can download on this stuff. Pretty simple though. Channel unlocking. Looks like you can unlock the channels on this guy, so you can use it maybe for other stuff that uses FPV cameras if you can get the frequency to match up. Looks like it runs on what is it, 15 point, what do they call it? Oh, 5.8. 5.8. Okay. You are able to switch which channel these are on if you push this little button here. Let's see. It should switch between the four channels. There's four, yep, A, B, C, and D. That way, if you're running 3 or 4 of these little guys, you're all on different channels, so you're not picking each other up on your FPV. So you can see right there, now we lost the signal because I changed it. If that happens, you can just hit search, and it'll just start searching until it finds it. And then there you go, you're good again. You also have a battery indicator in the upper right here, signal in the upper left, as well as which channel you're on. I don't know if you can really see that, but there's a little thing that says the channel. Now we even have a record button, but you will need a micro SD. You can also plug this guy into your TV or a monitor, which is pretty cool. So I dig that. And yeah, you can manually switch channels as well, just by clicking through on band/channel. This tells you exactly how to unlock the frequencies or the bands or whatever. So if you're trying to mess with that, just look in your manual. It's all in there. Let's go ahead and look at this guy. So we've got our trim. We have a steering trim. We have a steering dual rate. We have a gyro. I don't know if this thing actually has a gyro in it. I looked through the manual. I didn't see it. And then we have a throttle dual rate. We also have brake, which this is the setting for like forward, brake, reverse. So now you have forward, brake, reverse, forward, brake, reverse, or you can switch it just to forward, reverse like a crawler. Pretty cool. P1 and P2, the manual doesn't say much on those. It actually just says they're external switch 1 and 2. They don't seem to do anything except vibrate, so I'm not sure what those are for. Next, we have our headlamp, which is our headlights. You have off, on, bright. You have signals, front and rear. Let's see, what's this? Chassis, this is the underglow. Pretty cool. So we have a bunch of different colors there. Let's see, red, purple, blue, 3, 4, 5, 6, off. So we have 6 different colors in off. Pretty cool. Then we have FPV box. I'm not sure what that is. Let me see if that does something in here. Oh, there you go. Channel switching. looks like. That's interesting. It's not actually channel switching. It's just like turning it on and off. Oh, there we go. It must be for the camera. It must power on and off the camera. Let's see if this little light turns off. Yep. That's what it is. So it's just an on and off for the camera on the FPV. So that's cool. And then so our last one is matching, which is your bind button. Let's see the process for binding here. Should be pretty simple. I think it's just hold the bind button. Let's see. There it is. You turn on the power on the car, wait for 8 seconds, and the rear lights will flash and enter pairing mode. So turning on the car without the remote will enter pairing mode, and then you can turn on the power on the remote and press and hold the multifunction button for 2 seconds. The button should flash and the pairing begins. The remote control light flashes and stops flashing. Once that happens, then it's paired. Okay? Pretty simple. So turn on the car if you're not paired, and then turn on the remote and hit the pairing button for 2 seconds. Pretty simple. Oh, here it is. The 18650 lithium battery can just drop in there as well. So if you have an 18650 lithium battery, you're good to go. And you don't have to use the AAAs. Pretty simple, guys. Pretty straightforward. I dig it. Let's look at the other one real quick. Here we go. Now, the first thing I noticed on this guy, look at the bottom, look at underneath. They are very different. This one has steering that's in the, steering wheel that's proportional. This one does not. It's got 2 motors. This one has 1. So check this out. Do you see how that works? It's using the rear tires to steer. So this one is very different in how it handles. This one is like a traditional RC car where it goes forward and reverse, and then the steering wheel turns your front wheels left and right. Whereas this guy, that left and right just causes it to turn, kind of like a tank. Interesting. So again, this is the ALU-35, and this guy is the FLUSH-30. So they're very different vehicles in how that steering works. They both have all the lights, turn signals, headlights, all that good stuff. So they have the same functionality as far as the remote's concerned, basically the exact same, but how they steer is very different. Okay? Interesting. This one does sound like it's got constant something. I wonder if the trim is off. Oh, interesting. When you start to trim it, that's center. So that's, oh, it's still got a little bit of a, listen. Like it's got a little bit of throttle happening to it, because it's always kind of giving it throttle when you're turning, right? There's no way to... Interesting. Interesting. And then I'll throttle do a rate. Okay, yeah. Yeah, all that's still the same. And the brakes are the same. If you hit brake, it's got forward, brake, reverse, forward, brake, reverse, versus just forward, reverse. What is kind of cool, though, is that you can kind of pivot on the spot, right? Like, you don't have to really... Like, that's kind of neat. My mat's not the best for this, but... Makes it a lot more... you can take tighter turns and stuff. Like, if you're navigating a desktop, this might actually be easier for tight spaces. So, I don't know. We'll have to mess with them and play with them, see how they feel, but definitely some cool little cars. I really dig the FPV thing. Like, that's really fun right out of the box. I was like, maybe I should just take one of these guys and literally just slap it on top of one of my crawlers just for the FPV, right? It could be fun. So another thing that's kind of cool is if you have multiples of these, you can set, let's go ahead and get this guy going here. There we go. You can use the goggles, both goggles on the same channel if you'd like. And it basically, you can FPV and have your kid or your wife wear the other set of goggles. And yeah, then you're good to go. And they can just kind of watch. I keep getting the transmitters mixed up, so we got to get some the Shop Mini RC stickers thrown on here. Bam. We'll do a white one for the blue car, and then a black and red for the gray car. That way we're not mixing them up so much. All right. We're going to go drive these around and get you a little bit of footage. I'm going to try to see if I can get a micro SD card to put into the goggles so that I can kind of show you that versus having this just sit here and you watch it this way. We'll try to pull some actual footage off. And yeah, it's pretty cool though. I'm digging them so far. So something else I just noticed, this little guy actually has some suspension on it. You can see the front does, the back does not. Would have been nice if this guy had some too, even though the wheels don't turn. Having some suspension would have been nice. They're also super low. Look how low they are. Feel like they could have done with just a little bit more ground clearance. You don't need a ton, but just like a 1/4 millimeter even. I feel like this guy sits maybe a little higher, probably because of the suspension. But it gets caught on in these little bumps. So you definitely need a flat surface to run them on. They're super smooth. I dig that. So these guys are technically, I guess they're calling them 1/64 scale. They're pretty small. I mean, let's see. This guy weighs like 300 grams. They're both the same pretty much. Basically 54 millimeters by 36 millimeters by 25 millimeters. That's the specs that they give you. And they have a pretty good distance, apparently 30 meters worth of distance, so that's pretty far. I assume the FPV will kind of have that same range. What else? They do use liquid lithium batteries. Don't know what that's about. You're not going to be able to balance charge these guys. Or not balance charge, excuse me, storage charge. You're not going to have to balance charge them. They're 1S's. But storage charge is going to be something that's going to be hard to do. You have to just use the supplied USB cable and then your own USB block, right? They don't come with the power block, so you're just going to have to plug it in and then it fully charges. It doesn't take much to charge them. I think it's like maybe 15, 20 minutes, and then they run for like 20 minutes. So definitely not a bad charge play ratio. It's, you know, you run them for a little bit and charge them for a little bit. It's not crazy. So that's cool. You have two of them. You've got the fun going for quite a while. I mean, you can basically just charge one while you're playing with the other, and you're good to go. The screen on them, on the FPV screen, this guy right here, it's a 800 by 480. Woo! It's an 800 by 480 screen, so that's pretty cool. I definitely dig that. Oh, what happens when we do that? Whoa, infinity and beyond. Anyway, so the resolution is pretty good. Like I said, we're going to try to get an SD and record some stuff for you and see what that looks like. But yeah, it's got a little bit of flicker, but that's what happens with any kind of analog. If you know anything about FPV stuff, the digital video signals are generally the best video signals. But they're also very, very expensive. So you can kind of see this flickering that's happening in there. That is basically an analog thing, and that happens with all of them. So it has to do with interference and things like that. So just be aware that it's not going to be this crystal clear thing. But again, you're looking at a little ready-to-run car. Like, these are not high-end FPV racing drones, you know what I mean? Or video production drones. So that's to be expected, right? So before we go running, I wanted to go ahead and show you this. The menu in here, you just hit the menu button and it pops up. You've got DVR, which we're not going to be able to go into until we have a micro SD. And then you have your brightness, which you can adjust. and you just use your band and channel buttons to kind of adjust your brightness and contrast. Okay, and you just hit menu again to get to the next option, color, sharpness, backlight, the volume. I don't think there's actually audio on the car, but maybe. Your recording size, they've got VGA, D1, and HD. So we won't know that until we have a card in there. Recording sound on, record time off, format, language, default, and version. I wonder if the sound actually comes from the headset. So when you're recording, it'll record sound from the headset. So if you were talking, we'll have to see. Okay, pretty straightforward though. Just keep hitting menu and then you can just let it go or hit search and it'll do a quick search and pull the menu away. Okay, pretty cool. So I figure we will start with the FLUSH-30. This is the one that kind of pivots. I just wanted to show how it feels when you're driving that. You can kind of pivot without moving forward. It's pretty cool. It handles pretty well. It's actually pretty fun to drive when you don't have a lot of open space. Here's kind of what we're working with. Just trying the lights there. Yeah. You can tell that I've got a Lego thing. If you don't know me, I am very much into Lego. We have a huge winter village as well as like a downtown F1 race car thing. It goes to like a center of a downtown. Ever since we moved from Florida, we haven't really set anything up. We've been in Colorado for, well, hit that guy, whoops. Been in Florida for like, or in Colorado, excuse me, for like 2 years. And we haven't had a chance to set up the winter village. However, this year, actually in like 2 weeks, we're doing a big Brickfest event in the Denver. They're doing this huge, event where people go and show off Lego and they do a bunch of stuff for the kids and stuff like that. So we're actually going to take our 8x4 sized Christmas village, because it's around Thanksgiving. It's gonna be like 2 weeks. So we're going to do a Christmas village. We have like a 2-foot tall mountain. It's going to be nuts. So that'll be cool. It'll be the first time I ever display any of my Lego stuff. We have a ton of Lego cars and Lego village building, downtown type stuff. Just thought I'd explain that, why we're running around so much Lego. Well, that's pretty fun. It looks like it goes way faster in here than it probably is out there. Pretty fun. Now we'll go ahead and switch over to the ALU. This guy is more proportional, like a traditional RC. It's the ALU-35. I don't know why the video recording is flickering so much. It's interesting because when it was in the headset it doesn't look like that at all. And I noticed it was doing it with the other car as well. So it's not that it's this car or this camera or this headset. It's actually the exact same headset. I use the same headset on both cars. I don't know, maybe the camera. I tried switching things around and it seemed like it would just randomly do it. So I don't know if there's just interference or maybe it wasn't connected completely, but it's only in the recording. It's not when you're driving. You never see it flicker like that. It's got its little bit of flickering because just the nature of analog video signal, but not like this. That's only in the recording. And again, not all the recordings. Obviously the previous one was just fine. I'm sitting here trying to get it to like drift. It's not working out so well. They're definitely fun though. These things are a blast. If you have any kind of little track to drive them on, or you built something for them, or just you set up a little obstacle course on your counter or your kitchen floor or something, super fun. I mean, I've been having a blast with it. Let the kiddos play with it and they're loving it. Even my wife's like, that's kind of fun. She's not really into RC at all, but she definitely thought they were fun for sure. Good catch. Good catch. Let's go. Race, crawl, bash, guys. So here's what it looked like, again, with the flickering recording, but this is the actual feed from the headset. So I'm just recording what the headset shows, and you can see it never flickers like that the recording. Also found out that the VGA, the D1, both record at 640 by 480. I don't know what the difference between the two is, but they both are at that frame size, and then the HD is at 1280 by 720. There also doesn't seem to be any audio recording on the car or the headset, so I don't know why those settings are in there. Maybe there's a way to do it, but I haven't found it. Well, guys, these little things are a blast. I'm having a lot more fun than I kind of expected. I knew they'd be fun, right? Like, that's why you get them. They're fun. And I've got some of the other stuff, the small scale guys. These little guys here, these are Turbo Racing. They're 1/76 scale. They're smaller than Hot Wheels. These things are nuts. Even have a little RFID chip on them. This doesn't come this way, but it allows me to count the laps on a lap counter for a track that we have. So we'll probably end up doing that with these at some point. You can just kind of see the size difference. This is their little off-road truck. And then these are just it's a Mini Cooper, and they have a couple different ones of these, and they have a drift car, stuff like that. But you can see the size difference. I would say the Turbo Racing is a little bit more proportional, right? Looks like a Hot Wheel, like an actual car, whereas these are a little bit more, they're like caricatures almost of cars, right? But they're fun. That's what makes it fun. Also, obviously, they have FPV. These little guys do not have FPV. These are more performance-based. These are definitely more have fun with and the FPV experience. So, but yeah, this is my first time really messing with an FPV Mini like this, and they're a blast. Just like I said, on the desk, kitchen table, we were doing it on the countertops, and we have a lot of wood floor and tile, so I was driving it through that, and it drove on the floor, no problem. Over the tile cracks, no problem. I do wish they were just a tiny bit higher. Even these little Turbo Racing cars, I think they have almost the same, if not a little more ground clearance than the FMS ones. This one definitely does. We actually have a little off-road course built for this guy out of spray foam. It's pretty cool. We got another one of these. We'll do a box opening on this very soon. But this thing, too much fun. And I like that they offer two different models, two different styles of driving. They do drive very different. So, I mean, if you've got the room, I would say, financially, I would pick up both because they are very cool and they do drive very differently. Plus, it's so much more fun to have two, you and a friend, you and your son, daughter, wife, husband, whoever, mom, dad, whatever. It's a blast to have two of them. You're just kind of running around chasing each other and stuff. And it doesn't take much to have a lot of fun with these guys. So again, I'm not just upping them because it's FMS and I love FMS stuff, but they're legitimately fun. Like I said, my only complaint is I wish the ride height was a little bit higher, so maybe when they come with like an off-road or something, and I do wish that it didn't flicker when it was recording. I don't know what that's about. Some of the recordings just came out really flickery. Again, I'll have to try to dive into it a little bit more. Maybe it's just loose on the top. Again, the feed doesn't flicker, so I don't know why the recording does. Maybe it's just signal interference. Who knows? Anyway, they're just too fun, too cool. I do wish the rear had a little bit of suspension in it, or the front on this guy. I think this one does definitely sit lower than this guy. But we were running this all over the floor, so no problem. Just make sure you keep your tires clean. It does have a little bit of camber. See that on the rear? It's definitely stanced out. It's definitely flush, if you will. Very, very cool, though. So I'd love to see more. I'd love to see that FPV setup and a little module we could buy, literally where it's just the goggles, the camera with the magnets, and whatever electronics we can, take all the FPV electronics out of here. I don't even know if there's any actually in the car. This may just be a power source. The car may just be a power source. And if that's the case, give us a little base we can plug a 1S battery into, or a 2S would be even better, because then we could just splice it off of our mini crawlers or mini Z, and then just a little magnetic plate. Just give us that. That would be awesome as well. We could throw them on other stuff. Because I'm going to. I haven't done it yet, but I am going to put one of these on a mini crawler. We've just got to figure out a way to attach it without damaging the car. All right, guys. Definitely check those things out. I mean, Christmas is coming, obviously. Perfect gift for a little one or yourself. I think it's worth it. I think they're worth checking out if you're at all interested in like a tiny FPV. Again, you don't need a big old track or something, just your desk, your counter, your tabletop, kitchen floor. Set up some cones. Super fun, guys. All right, until next time, I hope you get out there and do something awesome. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell, build a course, build a course, build a community, smash it, crash it, and bash it, and then race, crawl, and bash. Same thing, I guess. I don't know, whatever. That's just the shirt we're wearing today. We'll have links in the description below to pick these little guys up. Use our links to help support the channel. Costs you nothing, but it helps us, and we really appreciate it. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.